For the cheapest coins with fast delivery and quick customer support, check out my sponsor, Red Zone Coins, and use code SWIFT at checkout for 20% off.
Salsa family, and today I'm coming back at you guys with another Madden 20 video on the channel, and in today's video I'm showing you part 3 of my Raiders offensive scheme in Madden 20. Now I didn't even realize it, but you guys showed so much support on the last 2 parts, and when I took a look at those videos, I knew I needed to drop this part 3 for you guys. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you 2 really glitchy setups for rushing plays, 2 really glitchy setups for passing plays, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to be showing you a really nice red zone dot. Again, this is all out of the Raiders playbook, and I also just want to let you guys know that I will be live on Twitch tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern time to actually use these plays in Weekend League. So if you guys want to watch the whole scheme in action, definitely come through to the stream. That will be linked down below in the description. I'll also be giving away about 3 million coins worth of cards over there, so I hope to see all you guys there at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Without further ado, let me hop into the first couple of plays in today's video, and I'm going to start it off by taking a look at those first 2 run plays that I just mentioned. I'll leave a like down below if you guys have been enjoying the scheme so far, and without further ado, let's hop into the first couple plays. So the first rushing play that I want to show you guys is going to be HB dive out of this strong close. If you guys watched part 1 and part 2 of the scheme, you know we have a ton of great passing plays out of strong close, so coming out in the dive and actually running the ball is going to confuse your opponent a decent amount of the time, because a lot of the time they're actually playing for the pass when I come in strong close. But as you can see, I've called this play almost 350 times and I'm gaining almost 7 yards a carry, which is pretty crazy when you're running the ball. So I'm going to come out in this HB dive and I'm going to show you guys the setup that I like to do when I'm running this play, and I'll see you guys when I'm in there. So the way I like to set this play up is a little bit unique, and it's honestly, in my opinion, how this play goes from a decent running play to a really good rushing play. And essentially all I'm going to do is I'm going to motion Stephon Diggs, or my receiver on the strong side of the field, to the weak side of the field. So to do so, I'm going to click O until I get onto Diggs, and when I'm on Diggs, I'm going to click left on the D-pad to motion him over, and I'm going to snap the ball when he's right next to my left tackle. Now, snapping when he's next to my left tackle is basically just going to allow me to get better blocking on the left side of the field, and as you guys can see, you can cut it up to the left side and gain tons of yards. Now, I want to quickly go into instant replay just so I can show you guys how effective that motion over block was and how different the run play develops when you do get the motion over block. So as you guys can see, the fact that we motioned over Diggs is going to allow him to get upfield and probably make the most crucial block in this entire play. Look at him right here. He's blocking this safety, and that allows us to cut right behind him. Some of the defenders literally get caught up on him, and that's how we're going to be able to score our touchdown. So using the motion over block is absolutely crazy good. Let me show you guys one more time how well the motion over block is going to work. Again, when you motion him over, it just gives you so much freedom to hit whatever gap you want to hit. That time I actually used pretty bad run stick and didn't gain that much yardage, but let me show you guys the play one final time right here. Again, super effective. You're just motioning over and snapping him when he's right next to the left tackle, and it's just going to allow you to cut it out to the left edge almost every single time. And a lot of the times my opponent's user is going to have to jump all the way to the left gap, and when they do that, you're going to have a huge hole in the middle of the field to run through. And honestly, when you have human joystick, it just makes this play even better. As you can see, let's say our opponent's user was to jump to the left, you can even still run it to the right because you still really have good blocking. And if you have human joystick, it's going to make this play so glitchy. You can literally go to the right, to the left, or to the center, just make the read and pick up yardage. As you guys can see, we were able to gain a few yards every single time we ran this, and a couple of times we were actually able to pop off a pretty good running play. So yeah, that's the first rush that I wanted to show you guys. Honestly, a pretty simple running concept, but with human joystick, that play is going to work crazy good for you. Let me show you guys the second run play of today's video as well. So the second running play I want to show you guys is this I-form close stretch. You might be thinking right off the top of your head, wow, this is probably the most simple rushing play he could show you guys, but the way I'm actually going to run this is I'm going to start it off by coming out in weak close flex, and then we're going to audible into the I-form close stretch, and essentially you can motion snap the play while your players are running to the right, and it's just going to give you so much better blocking. As you can see, I'm a hardcore stretch player. I've called this 1,000 times, and I'm averaging almost 10 yards a carry, but essentially what we're going to do to run this stretch is we're going going to start it off by coming out in the dive and weak close flex, and I'll show you guys how I audible to the stretch and get that really good motion block. So the way I like to set this play up is, again, we're coming out in weak close flex, and then we're going to click square right on the D-pad, and then we can click square again to audible into this HB stretch. Now, when I audible into the stretch, Thielen is going to start to run to the right side of the field, and we're going to snap the ball kind of while he's in motion to get a little bit better blocking. As you can see, you can click X while he's in motion, and he's going to be able to kind of like motion block and get to the edge for you. Let me go into instant replay really quickly one time, just so I can show you guys why the blocking develops and how it does. But again, as you guys can see right here, Thielen is going to be in motion as we snap the ball. See how he's running to the edge as we snap the ball? That's basically just going to allow you to get better blocking, and as you can see, look at that. He's able to run to the edge and get a block on that corner. If he was just starting without any motion, he might have not been able to get all the way out there. So I would definitely recommend that you guys run your stretch this way. It's honestly going to confuse your opponent a little bit as well, and it's really just super effective. As you can see, you snap the ball with Thielen in motion. He's going to get a block on that corner out there, and honestly, we could have had a touchdown on that play if my stick was a little bit better. Let me show you guys this play one final time. You motion into the stretch by clicking square right on the D-pad and square again, and then we're going to click X while Thielen is in motion, and we're basically just going to get kind of better blocking in my opinion, because he's able to get to like the second level, and we get 5 yards on that play. Nothing too spectacular. We haven't even busted off a long run yet in today's video, but let's click X one more time as Thielen is in motion. You guys are going to see he's going to be able to get to the second level really quickly, and we pick up a few yards with Dalvin Cook, about 10 yards on that run. So those were the two running plays that I wanted to talk about. Next up, let's talk about a couple of really good passing plays. The first one is going to be this mesh spot play out of the gun tight slots HB weak. Again, I'm trying to keep these plays super uniform. I already showed you guys plays out of gun tight slots HB weak the last time I made this video, so I'm going to be able to show you guys even more plays right now. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, I will leave those in the description, and I would definitely recommend you check those out. We're going to call the play mesh spot right here. I'm going to start it off by going against a cover 3, then I'll show it to you guys against a cover 2 defense. So the way I like to set this play up is, firstly, I'm going to put Stephon Diggs or my receiver on the farthest side to the left on a flat route. Then we're going to throw Adam Thielen on a post route. Again, you're going to want to have a hot route master quarterback to be able to do this. Then we're going to block Kyle Rudolph, and we're going to put O on a hitch route, or the receiver on the right side of the field. Now against the cover 3, you guys are going to see Dalvin Cook is going to get wide open in between the zones, and you can kind of just pass lead it to the right side of the field, and you can possession catch it for literally 10 yards almost every single time you run this play. It's honestly going to force your opponent's user to make a play on the Dalvin Cook, and when they do that, I'll show you guys exactly what you can do. But let me just show you guys the route one more time. Pass lead it inside, possession catch it. You're getting 5 yards literally every single play. That throw is going to work against the cover 2 as well. Basically against any zone in the game, that throw is going to work. I'll show it to you one final time, but that wheel route is super effective. In my opinion, this play works best when you're running it to the short side of the field, so I like that I have Dalvin Cook on the left side where this is the short side of the field. But let me show you guys that the Thielen route is also actually going to get open. If, for example, your opponent's user goes to cover on the Cook route, which honestly a lot of the time they're going to have to do, you could double team on the right side of the field and kind of roll out and hit Adam Thielen. So let me roll out right here, and as you can see, Adam Thielen is going to be wide open on his post route. If your opponent's user has to go play on the Dalvin Cook, then you can just hit that Thielen route really open, really easily. So next up, let me show you guys this against a cover 2. Against a cover 2, you can run the exact same setup. This is what the play is going to look like, and we're basically just going to hit Dalvin Cook, but we're going to have to hit him a little bit quicker against a cover 2. As you can see, you only go for about 7 yards against a cover 2. Against a cover 3, we can get closer to like 10 yards. And let me show you guys as well that, of course, hitting Adam Thielen against a cover 2 is going to work. So our setup is already done. We're going to switch into a Tampa 2 defense. And again, if you are going up against a cover 2, I'd probably rather go to the next play I'm going to show you in today's video. But let's say, for example, you forget, you make the wrong read, and you use this play against a cover 2, it's still going to work. As you can see, we roll out, we hit Adam Thielen really easily right there for a pickup of like 15 or 20 yards. So again, this setup, of course, is going to work against a cover 2 as well. Now, the next passing play is going to be called Flood out of the exact same formation. We're out of the gun tight slots HB weak, and honestly, you can run this setup out of any play because we're basically going to be using Hot Route Master in order to achieve this setup. Unfortunately, I can't do it the exact way I'd want to in Ultimate Team because, of course, Kirk Cousins isn't going to have Hot Route Master, so I'll tell you guys the setup you guys are going to want to do, and this is going to be the closest way I can get to the setup without having Hot Route Master. So we're going to call the play Flood right here, and we're going to start this off by going up against a cover 3 defense out of the big nickel over G. Now to start with, we are going to totally max protect, so that is L1 right stick up. Then I'm going to throw Diggs on a streak route and put Thielen on a crossing route. And ideally, if I had Hot Route Master, I would be putting O on a post route. Unfortunately, we don't have Hot Route Master, so this is the closest I can get to a post route. And essentially, both of these routes are going to get wide open. The route to triangle as well as the route to O are going to get wide open. Thielen's crossing route is going to beat basically every single coverage in the game. As you can see, he was able to just toast up that coverage. Now, yeah, both routes are going to get open super easily. There's not really too much to the setup. We're just max protecting. We're going to throw Thielen on a crosser, and we're going to put Johnson on an in route. You can roll out if you want to and kind of pass lead to the right side of the field, and Thielen's just going to be wide open. Not really any zones in the game are going to play this, and I'll show you guys again the route to Johnson. I'm not sure his name. I think his name's Olabisi Johnson, but that route is going to get open as well. Instead of putting up a post route, we have to use that kind of weird deep in and pass lead it upfield. It still gets open. I'd rather put up a post, but I don't have Hot Route Master to show that to you guys. Let me show you again. This is going to work against cover 2 as well. I'm not going to show you guys it against man coverage because man coverage is probably the most easy defense to beat in the game right now. But I'll show you guys that this setup is going to work against man. We can roll out. We can hit Adam Thielen on the crosser. As you can see, wide open right there. They actually played match principles on that cover 2, and Thielen was still able to get open. Now, against the cover 2, I was actually just trying to lab it up right there, and unfortunately, the route to Johnson doesn't get open against a cover 2. If you put up a post on the field, I'll show you it will get open. Let me show you guys how this play looks against a cover 2 with Johnson's route, and you guys will be able to tell that with a post, they're kind of just going to get more of like a deeper angle, which is going to get open against a cover 2, but that's essentially what it looks like. Now I just want to quickly go into instant replay to prove to you guys that the post is going to work. So yeah, I'm in instant replay, and as you guys can see, his route is going to cut horizontally rather than taking like this type of angle and getting up into like this space on the field. It's coming straight across, which doesn't allow it to get open, but obviously if it was a post route, it would be more in this area, which is going to be wide open against a cover 2. Unfortunately, again, we don't have Hot Route Master on this quarterback, so I can't show that to you guys, but he would be like right here. You'd get a nice little sideline catch, and that would be absolutely wide open. So those were the two passing play setups I want to show you guys. And now I want to show you guys a super nice red zone dot, probably my favorite one in the game right now. So for this play, we're going to come out in strong close, and we're going to come out in the play wide receiver out. Now, the way I like to run this is I like to have my fullback and my tight end on the far side of the field. So right now, the ball is on the right hash, which means we want our tight end on the left side where there's more space, as well as my fullback on that side of the field. And again, we're going to call the play wide receiver out. Now, a lot of the time you run this, you're going to be going up against a running defense, so it's going to be even easier to pass the ball. I'll go up against a pass defense, and I'll show you that it's still going to work. We'll call the play cover 3 sky, and here's the setup I'm going to do. I'm going to put triangle and R1 on wheel routes, and I'm going to throw Thielen on a corner as well as Diggs on a hitch route. This is what the play is going to look like. Against the cover 3, we're going to have Dalvin Cook wide open on this wheel route, and a lot of the time it's going to force your user to come down. Let's say they're using on Darius Leonard. It's going to force them to come down and play on the Dalvin Cook route. I'll show you how that's going to look in just a second, but let me show you guys this route to Dalvin. It's just going to absolutely toast up basically every single defense on the pass lead inside. You can just possession catch that and get in the end zone super easily. But now let me show you guys what it's going to look like if, for example, my opponent's user decides, you know what, I need to play on Dalvin Cook because Dalvin Cook's route has been beating me in the red zone so far. We go to the same setup. As you can see, this is what it's going to look like. And we're going to have Rudolph open right over the middle of the field. A lot of the time, your opponent's user is going to jump down really quickly on that wheel route. And once they jump down and take one false step, then you have X wide open over the middle of the field. Bang. Just like that in the end zone. It is that easy. So it basically forces your opponent's user to make a decision. Do they want to go cover triangle or do they want to go cover Rudolph? Honestly, I could run this play from like the 20-yard line and it would still be super effective for me. The route to the running back is just crazy good. Dalvin Cook, as you can see, getting into the end zone. That is easily the best way to throw the ball when you're in the red zone, and that is going to be throwing routes like I just showed you guys. This is also going to work against a cover 2. I find it a little less effective. Sometimes I feel like Dalvin does get covered up a little bit on the cover 2, but let's see if we can fit the ball in right here. If we can't, we're probably going to have to make another read, but Dalvin is still going to be able to get in between those zones and get open against a cover 2. So that's essentially what the red zone dots are looking like. Really easy play, honestly. You can even sometimes hit digs on the low ball, but it is totally up to you, and that's essentially how you guys are going to run this play in the red zone. Really easy setup, works against a cover 2, works against a cover 3. It's super tough to pass the ball in the red zone in my opinion this year, so having this play is going to make it so much easier for you. But I hope this video was helpful. If it was, leave a like. I hope to see you guys all in my stream. I'll be running this scheme there, and until next time, fellas, I'm out. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.
So close to the